Today I'm at Bitcoin Atlantis, and I'm going to ask if people think if Bitcoin becomes the world reserve currency. Will Bitcoin become the world reserve currency?
Obviously.
Yes, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind.
I mean, it already is for me. What is it for you?
For me too. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Centralized reserve currencies are enforced. When you have an option to choose, Bitcoin's already my decentralized reserve currency.
Yes, it will take a long time, but I think it's maybe even inevitable if we manage to get away from a fiat system. Like now, it's clear that the fiat system, as it works today, needs to have a national reserve currency, which is the US dollar. It might change to another fiat money soon, but fiat currency soon. But if we really get away from a fiat-based financial system overall, then I think it's the next logical step to have a scarce commodity like Bitcoin or gold, but I would bet on Bitcoin because it's decentralized and scarce and digital. So it's the world reserve currency of the future. I think it's inevitable, but it might take a very, very long time.
Undoubtedly, absolutely. I firmly believe that. Yeah, and I think it's probabilistic, but I think it is highly probable. Yeah. Where you have abundance in money, you create scarcity in everything else, and where you have scarcity in money, you create abundance in everything else. And it's just that vortex of incentives. And because it's scarce, it's going to appreciate at a faster rate than everything else in the marketplace. So the incentive is to get some, including the central banks. They need it.
I think it will become out of necessity because everything else will fail. I mean, we all know that every fiat currency just has no bottom. I think that they'll do every trick in the book to kick that can down the road repeatedly, and there will be a number of people that continue to fall for it for longer than most of us would like. But those that get it, I mean, it's already my reserve currency. So there's, as Jeff Booth likes to say, everybody here is already living in the future. The rest of the world just has to catch up.
I think so. I guess my colleague Jeff Booth often says, like, as long as Bitcoin reigns secure and decentralized, then its trajectory is very big. So unless there's some sort of tail risk that can otherwise stop the network, you know, it's still only a 15-year-old network, so we have to we shouldn't be complacent with it at this time. But basically, if nothing can really slow it down, I think it serves that purpose better than anything else. As long as we live in a world where there's an internet, there's some degree of bandwidth connecting us together, Bitcoin, I think, is the best form of money, both as a reserve asset and, you know, money for the people, money for any individual that wants to have debasement-resistant, portable, censorship-resistant types of money. I think that it's going to be a very big role, hopefully.
You have to differentiate between world reserve asset and world reserve currency. The dollar is not de facto the world reserve asset. It's more of it's the treasuries, right? So there's like the debt that is backing the dollar. Or gold is also a world reserve asset. I can see Bitcoin playing an important role in the asset part. Will it be the currency of choice to settle international trade? Possibly, but it's very hard to say from the perspective of today. I think that currencies like national currencies will lose their significance, and the dollar will be the last one to stand, basically. It's also one of the reasons why the Europeans are so nervous about Bitcoin, is because they see that they see threats from all sides. You know, they see threats from the Chinese, they see threats from the Americans, and from Bitcoin. The Americans don't see so many threats because the dollar is still strong in its role as an international reserve and as currency and payment currency. But technically, I don't see why not. I mean, at some point, technically, if Bitcoin is the denominator of value, and if Bitcoin basically acts as the base layer of value for the whole world, then yes, it should also be the currency that transactions are settled in at some point.